Hi, hello. Sorry, getting a few things ready because apparently I'm really good at getting things ready in time. But hey, I'm here, and like the title suggests, we are going to be covering our very last god. For Welcome to Phantaticus 13, we've covered the Wishmaker and the 12 other gods. Which, yeah, I know the last time I streamed was April 1st and now it's May 6th. I will say, things just kept coming up repeatedly over and over again, so I was just, trust me, I missed more things than just wanting to stream. That's also why I haven't had a video come out, even though I planned to have one out last month. I've got quite a few things I need to work on, but hey, now that I'm finals are over, there's one other thing that I need to do for final. Well, I guess two. I've got a painting I'm working on for art history, but yeah, videos coming soon and stuff. But today we will be doing our very last god, Raenu, the god of magic. He's also the god of dead. He's honestly more known for the stuff he does with the dead, but he is formally known as the god of magic, which honestly I did not have a good color for what I wanted here, but this is the closest thing I had to a magenta color. So yeah, that is what I'm doing here for Rainu today. And there we go, we finally have all of our colors filled, and things need to load faster. I know you can't see this on my end, but I would really like it if things could load faster. So, I guess, we started this journey with the Wishmaker, who technically isn't one of the gods, but you kind of got to talk to her about her first before you talk about the gods, because it's the Wishmaker. She made the gods. Eventually, when my comic episode about the gods come out, which that won't be for a long time, I'll definitely probably talk about her before all the rest of the gods there too. And the things, and of course we went to Alias, to Nure, to even Kali, having all the four ancient gods. Then we went on to the more mid-range gods of Valkyrie, Yumiko, Polaris, which this is where we have some changes. I decided to change the order in which these gods arrive, because in the pages they came in order of when the gods became gods, but I decided that Polaris would become a god before Yumiko. These streams, while most of the information is probably going to stay true to the end of my life, or this series' lives, there are a few changes that I have made. For example, I decided to switch Yumiko and Kali's greens around. I just felt this lime wasn't really fitting Yumiko, and I felt like I could move a little more with Eve. So, and then we go to finish off the mid-range gods, we got Alger, which, I don't know, I like his design, but I do think I'm gonna need to work on it for a second. Look at these faces, he looks so derpy here. Kinda love him for it. Because I had another hair idea for him, but yeah. And then, of course, we talk about the youngest gods of Karma, which I still really love her. Kaleo, which I had to end the stream early for reasons, but yeah. And Echo. As you can see, Echo I went crazy with, because, I don't know, Gutter Entertainment felt fitting. But now we have this very last page. I mean, technically, there's a lot of pages in this book, so. Well, I'll have to figure out what I want to fill it up with now. Because I don't think I want to have to live stream all the gods. Maybe I'll, like, record stuff for them and make it into a video for, like, my demigods and stuff, just so I can be a little more loose and it doesn't have to fit my schedule as bad. But yeah. So just before we begin with Raenu, I have to share a stream with the Discord server. But yeah, I'm just look at how far we've came. I mean, yeah, I guess it's technically only 13 designs, but I'm genuinely happy with what I've been able to do. Also, I finally figured out how roles work in Discord, so I finally can set those up. So now I won't be adding people who don't care and can never make my live streams anyway. Which I think that's nice. I don't like when things at everyone always, cause there's only certain things that I want to be here for. Like, I don't know. I'll admit, I'm not a big live stream person. I can be, but I'm not the biggest live stream person, so. But yeah, I just kind of finally figured it out, so. Let's start, and yeah. There we go. Well, that's everything done. So I guess there are some things that I need to talk about with Raenu before we begin. For example, one, this is his husband. Hi. Elgar says hi. But more importantly is that he's not my character. Kinda. He is my character, but he's like he's not. It's weird because I don't want to say it's my character with an asterisk because that would be wrong because it's not my character with an asterisk. In fact, if anything, it would be my friend's character with an asterisk. Which also, that's a big reason why the stream took so long, because I wanted to talk about if it was okay sharing his character in this light, and I don't know, maybe if they're not busy, we'll get to see him in chat, because I know they wanted to watch, but I don't know if they were available or not. So, yeah. Maybe I should, like, private them. Oh, no, I did. Also, I just cleaned up my desk. That's another reason. Everything's been a disaster, but I finally got some things set up. Ugh. There's just so much going on in my mind. So yeah, this character isn't my character. However, I did a lot in developing this character simply because of how important this character is to my story. I had like a strong hand in his creations, but he's still technically not mine. Mine. With that said, I'm just gonna reference these and we're gonna write. I don't like writing A's personally. Because I normally don't drum with this little hat thing, but I just feel like I have to. And I hate the little hat thing. Not that I hate it, I think it looks better. But it's just harder for me to do. I feel like I'm messing this up big time right now. Normally I write off stream, but again, I'm super busy. There we go. Okay, it took too long. 11 minutes and we're just writing a name. Goodness gracious me. Hmm. Where's the one thing? There's the one thing. Also, last time you see this pencil, I had the eraser on the back because I keep forgetting to replace the eraser because I can't find the stupid thing. I know it has to be around here somewhere. I can't find it and I'm not going to look for it. But I put it on the back of the highlighter because, I don't know, it's just easier for some reason for me, but yeah. So, I have talked about this friend a little bit about his holy symbol, but not much, honestly. I should have probably talked about it more, but I think one idea that we had, which again, this might change, is I'm just gonna leave that open, is a gonna zoom in and move around now. Because I keep forgetting to do that. Come on, I should be better at this by now. And it's really shadowy in my room right now. Not the best lighting for this, but we were thinking a few times about this kind of lanterny idea, which again I'll have to talk to him about. But I personally was thinking maybe add this kind of like spiritual magical energy, which I always draw kind of flame like. It's usually a more white color to kind of be like that magical energy bursting through. So that's kind of my idea for a holy symbol, and for now, I'm gonna keep it that way, but I don't know, this might change. My thing is all messed up. I'm gonna fix it. There, I fixed it. So yeah. I would like to start streaming on Twitch, but I just don't know how to set up streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, but yeah, I think appealing to a more live stream audience might be better for live streams. And I'll admit, I do like live streaming more than videoing. Well, making videos, and that's simply because I don't like editing. I don't like editing at all. It's just not my cup of tea, and I drew this too high for how wide I made it. So that sucks, but that it's okay. I'm just gonna decide that I don't care. I do care though. Draw like some little charm things. Let's draw our flame trying to escape its magical containment. You know, very, very very Rainu-like. So yeah, I will say I did. I'm the only one who made art of Rainu. Like, friend, I didn't even have a description of Rainu, just a vague vibe and a few ideas, which inspired when I drew him. So this time, I finally got better ideas, and I've talked and planned his design out better with my friend instead of just drawing something and rolling with it. Because, I've changed a lot as a person from when he was first designed. So, also, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Rainu is autistic. Like, not, it's mainly because the friend who helped make Rainu, by the way, this is just how they wanted to be referred to, as just kind of vaguely as a friend of mine, because they have little to no social media presence anywhere. Whereas this was made by an IRL friend who actually did do a lot of stuff within my world besides help make this god, but yeah, everything is again highly supervised by me. So yeah, there's our little lanterny concept. Kind of like it. And, but, that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about gods. And, oh, I forgot to color this little thing. Here, have a little more purple. Yeah. So, Raenu, a bit, oh my goodness, I'm just realizing just how crooked that is. Whatever. Would it be me writing text if it wasn't freakishly crooked? Answer, no, it wouldn't. So I'm gonna kind of mark out his head, because as you know, I like to draw the body first, but I always like to get the vague idea of where I want the head, because, well, so I don't draw it too low or too high. Oh my goodness, the EP is consuming me. But, so, first off, I want to just kind of erase the head now that I kind of got an idea of where I want to put it. And this is why I do digital art. And so we're going to start with drawing this kind of rib cage like shape. This is where we're going to attach his shoulders. This is very short for a rib cage, so I'm just going to make it a little longer real quickly. Yeah, he's a pretty skinny man. Should I do like a fun, like, maybe I angled this more this way, like that. Like that, yeah. Yeah. And do not a straight pose, like a gay pose, if you will. For him. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Bending spines is hard. So, yeah. Now I've got this. And then we can go here. Go like that. And connect the two pieces together. Definitely think I drew him a little too. And there we go. A decent torso. And then we get to draw the head. There we go. Very nice. We now have the basic shape of a character. And I'm continue on with that. How do I want his legs? I don't even know. Maybe. I did kind of intend for this kind of off-balanced look, so I think I need to rebalance it by putting more weight on this foot, putting less on that one. I'm gonna kind of measure out legs, because hello, one of my few human characters. So I'm gonna try to get those proportions a bit more realistic, because a lot of my other characters have very unrealistic proportions because they're not human. Heel. Foot is not long enough. I really need to pull up a leg reference photo whenever I'm doing this, because I don't know. Oh my goodness, I accidentally folded the paper. You don't see that, but because whatever. But yeah, gonna. That's a good leg. That's a good enough leg for me. I hate drawing legs. This is why you draw with a reference picture, kids. It makes everything look better, and it makes it easier too. Now let me just carry on, not heeding my own advice and drawing without a reference photo. I'm just gonna put that there. Kinda need an separate ankle, separate from the shin, build up leg, carve it out. And there we go. I'm just gonna erase those lines I no longer need. Add some detail back in there. Yeah. So that is the first section of the body. And I'm very uneven because I am not sitting straight. I think I want him to be. Hold on. I need to check something because I just realized something. I need to check it. Okay, no. No. Okay, no. Okay, yes. Okay, no. No. Okay, no. No. Okay, I was just saying how many characters I accidentally made left-handed. The one was kinda not an accident. So wow, I'm just surprised that I've been paying that much attention to arms. Because I was about to make him left-handed, but he's not, and I don't want to accidentally make characters left-handed. I just have some that are. But I was gonna make sure that I had character left-handed because I feel like we need at least one left-handed rep among the among the gods, even though left-handed people are sinners, as we all know. That's why everyone uses them when they talk about gay people. Because that makes sense and is not applying any logical fallacy whatsoever, as we know. I did make his arm too freakishly long though. So I need to change that. Another reason why we use a reference photo. Because this still sucks. This is why I draw non-human characters. I don't have to worry about human anatomy. It's a great tip. I think maybe draw some fingers here. There we go. There we go. I don't like that hand though. So it's not, there we go. Oh, I don't know how to fix it either. I think maybe if I start drawing out his little staff thing. Like such. Little lantern staff. Then, yeah. Draw his hands holding onto that. Tilt his arm a bit so it's better, more realistic. I still hate it, but that's okay. We're here to draw concept art, not to like what we're drawing. They're two completely different concepts, two completely different ideas. And hold on one second. I need. Okay, I just checked something. We're all good. Never mind. So now, as we do usually do these things, let's just this bit. Throw my eraser off the page. And now it is time to kind of like sketch out some face ideas, because you know, people have faces. And that's a bad thing. I think no one should be allowed to have faces. We should revoke face privileges from every single human on the population. I just got bombarded by notifications. And hey, I finally lantern. So I got, yeah, lantern approved. Not necessarily this lantern, but lantern approved. Yeah, I'll work on that later. I gotta say thank you. Can't spell, goodness. If you ever wonder why it takes so long to type, it's because I can't spell. That is not right. I know it's not right, but it's not letting me have the right. That is not the right answer, though. Hold on, I gotta fix it. Okay. I fixed it. I just had to look up how to spell words. I spelled that word right so many times, and I don't know why I can't today. Designing. But yeah. Anyway, back to his face. Now that I've done with that, this is a face. This is a face shape. I like face shapes. Face shapes are nice. Um, Now clean up the face so it looks nicer. Draw different guidelines in the face. Feel like I'm making a YouTube tutorial. But yeah. Draw a normal-ish human ear. I'm not good at normal-ish human ears. They're not elf ears, I'm not happy. This is gonna be our normal-ish human ear. There, normal-ish human ear, much to my upset. I don't know why I started drawing the ear on the other side. It's because I'm used to elf ears. I can't. Duh. Human ears suck. There. That's my hot take for the day. I have to have at least one, as we all know. Oh, it's been so long since I've drawn Raenu. I don't even think I know how he looks like anymore. Anyway, so that's why I'm zooming in to stuff. You don't see what's going on behind the scenes. And I like to keep it that way. Anyway. Definitely trying some different noses here. I don't think I like that one for Rainu, though. I'll give it to someone else. Don't know how I want to draw his lips, but... I think that's good. I think we'll go to just forgetting about the face and worrying about the hair, because usually I don't care about the face and how it looks during this day. I care more about the hair, so... So normally and traditionally, Rainu had this kind of side flap and hair styled like this. There we go. Because his hair, being the most like ghostly, spectral of the gods, I kind of wanted that to come across in his hair, making it kind of more wispy, whimsical. Usually like to add some spots. His hair is in itself like ghostly matter and material. Even though technically all the gods are dead, I don't know. I just like the design look on him as a character. Then on the other side of his face, I always like to draw these kind of little hair things. You know, I'm still liking this hairstyle for Rainu, but I feel like I do want to try out some new things. But I think of first, before trying out some new things, maybe work on that face a bit more to find it out better. And yeah, still that little Twinkie. Oh yeah, forgot the ear. Hold up, forgot the stupid little dumb little human ear. keep it short on this side to be long and on that side there. Well, that's how I usually draw Rainu's hair, and I think I will be keeping him kind of similar, simply because, well, there's going to be other major changes to him, and I don't know. I never talked about actually how his hair would change. But maybe I think for the integrity of it, I feel I don't have any ideas on how I should else draw his hair other than how I've been drawing it always. But I always feel like I should at least try something. So like what if his hair was a little bit more like just slightly shorter? Because right now it's kind of long. What if okay, kind of shorter? Just like yeah, like that. More square. I don't like the squareness of it, but having his hair be like a little shorter is not necessarily a bad idea by any means. And I will say, where his hair really starts to come across is really in the coloring. But yeah, I do kind of like this more. But yeah. Hmm. Getting jewelry. He's a little jewelry fiend. Let's go. There we go. That's better. Now I think we're pretty safe to move on to over here, down here, and draw his coat. So his coat is actually gonna have the most major changes, because originally he had a fur coat. He still does, by the way. But his coat is made out of a magical creature called a shade. Which, we talked all about shades designing Echo, because, well, Echo is a shade. Wearing the hide of the species of one of your fellow gods. That sure sends a message. In fact, that was one of the first things Echo told Raenu. But Echo is a Sonic Shade, and originally Rainu wore the fur coat of a Sonic Shade as well. I mean, the Sonic Shades are the most hunted with the least amount of reprogressions for said hunting. So, I don't know, it's pretty typical, it works out pretty well. And, yeah. So that's why Rainu originally wore a Sonic Shades coat, but then through talking with the friend who made him, we decided to change it a bit and have it be a sight shade, which sight shades they do look a little differently. Like for one, you would have the normal trench coat collars. He practically just wore a black trench coat. But now I kind of want to lead into that Sonic Shade aspects, adding a bit more feathered details because, well, they're air shades, and we decided to change it to not a Sonic. Sorry, darn, messing up this entire time. At least I'm just talking to myself, to a sight shade because sight shades had the highest. They killed the most ghosts in this shade war since Rainu was not post shade war. It's technically still going on, but post the beginnings of the shade war, where Echo was born before that even started. So I kind of wanted to get more of these shade feathers and ruffles, and instead of the normal trench coat like style, make it look more like this shade, which is why I'm adding a more furred metal crest piece, because that is what sight shades have. And because I'm being forced to draw arms on figure sketch, also kind of wanted to add some feathers here, because even though they wouldn't include the wings of a sight shade, I just wanted to keep in some of that aspect of where this material is coming from. Which I did have some Sonic Shade ideas, but yeah, I ran through them and how they would look, and this is what was come up with. Kind of looks more like a bat now, which I don't know. It's funny for reasons that no one would understand here, so I'm just not going to talk about them. So that was a way, and then I was thinking about making his coattails much more like long and like more spectrally. They kind of applying his magic to the coat he wears. Now the thing is, do I make it like more dressed like or more? Oh, I wish my friend was online and able to be here right now. I should have asked. Because, like, I could do something more trench coat like, where this is split and just coattails, like, or do it like more full length, almost gown like. Like, I'm trying to decide if his coat is more, not Kaleo, Kaleo's naked, more like Echo in the terms of like the split here into different pieces, or if it's gonna be more like not Alger's here, where it's just kind of straight down. But I think I'll kind of play with both. I think normally I do end up drawing on this full figure, but I think I won't this time, just so my friend can kind of pick out what he wants, and there's something else I can do here for everyone else. So now I'm gonna kind of rib cage again, coat again, and just so we have some examples, we could do something crazy where I have this kind of middle fluff crest going on here. Which I do like that. That looks kind of cool. But instead of that, this is where it opens. Maybe have some more feather. Maybe have like a few more feathers along here. And then have these kind of long dress coattails behind him. So, his legs, little stick legs right here. Well, there. So that's kind of like, I will say, originally I did kind of like the wing idea, simply because, because they are winged. But maybe, so have this kind of feather fluff, I think. So this is kind of like it fluffed out, and I think I do need to talk about something important here, is Sonic Shades, they are covered in eyes. So we'd have to like kind of draw their little eye pattern around. Which I do think between Sonic and Sight Shades, either of them work well for Raenu. Just because there's other things that I could do with Sonic Shades. But Sight Shades, they are covered in like this false-eyed pattern, which I think that will work out for like a ghosty ghost man. So another outfit idea that I do have. Oh, I'm gonna draw right here. It's kind of this, yeah. So draw this body right here. Not what Raenu looks like. So another idea is instead of having it like more fluffed out like that, is maybe have it more around, like the feathers kind of mold around his face more, like that. Still have this kind of fluffed feathered crest. We can emphasize this like eye on the shoulder, I see you moment. Truly. Maybe keep this kind of other pattern. Maybe make his legs longer this time. These don't hang on the ground like that. Maybe we add more of them. Like maybe, because I'm thinking maybe we do like the two long coattails, but I do want to add more feathery bits at least to kind of get that shade tail in there, like that. Like even here, I think I would kind of do a little top bottomy coat thing, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should draw a different example here. So this is the coat feathered puff across his shoulders. These kind of like feather streams. Probably have the eye pattern there. And then in this like kind of feather idea, you have that there, leading there, and this is kind of like where we get some more of our shade tail feathers. Yeah. I do think drawing a side view definitely helped me imagine kind of what I'm going for. Leg. Hmm. So yeah, I think maybe talk a little bit about some lore. So just as we get into this, I just want to mention that the reason why, you know what, these gods are actually the reason why I'm friends with this person in the first place. Originally, I was talking to I'm not a theater kid. I guess I was in theater in middle school, but it was like a very small theater that no one was in. We never did like any real performances. Then we just kind of did Studio C. Like we watched Studio C and just performed that. So we never even did like a whole on play. So I came from a very small middle school, but then I transferred to a different district for high school. And so one of my newer friends that I had made, who wasn't really my friend, I mean, we both talk about this now. She's way more of my friend now than originally, but we used to not be the best of friends. We just never talk. And hold on. There's no way I spelled notification right. Here. We might have to change. Yeah. Hold on. I might have to put a pause on this right now. Why do I always get so many notifications as soon as I'm busy with something? No, this is very serious. This, trying to figure something out because the person who helped make this character might be joining, so that would be nice. And then I can put clothes on this little figure in the corner. I always make this mistake every time I stream. I should grab like a cup of water to have with me, but I never do. Okay, so yeah. As I was kind of talking about, there are many ways that I could take this coat. I could definitely be more dramatic about it. I could be more simple, and I don't really know what he wants to do, so. But he might be joining, so I'm kind of putting a little pause. Dramatic is best. Okay. Thank you. Hello. So these are very rough sketches. I mean, all every time I do these streams, they're kind of rough. But now that you're here, I can ask you questions, like, cause I kind of came up with two basic ideas. One, these are Rainu's little legs, by the way, cause I hate drawing legs. But I don't know. I'll make that more clear right now. Leg, foot. But yeah. So one idea that I had, well, two ideas that I had was either like a more where instead of like a more coat is almost like more like of a floor length dress. Like it kind of started looking like a coat up here, but then it goes into just like in my Alga redesign. I'll pull them up again. Like almost floor length, more dress like than coat. But then I was also wondering if we went more of like the open style, which I did for Echo here. So I don't know if you wanted to do like a floor length or a more open. I don't know what yes means. Are we doing like a more dramatic open coattail things or a more almost floor length dress? Let's go. Non-binary coded. Let's go. Floor is amazing. So yeah. Okay. Another idea that I'm toying with here, I'm just gonna scoot this over here so I have more room to work, is with the top half of, oh my goodness, you are not running out of lead right now. It is. Give me 1 second. Apparently my pencil is like out of lead, so I need to get lead. And I can't find that either. Professional at being able to find nothing when I need it. That's what I am. There's not even more lead in that pencil. I tried to look for it. Whatever. We're going green. We're going green now because my other pencil's being stupid and I can't find lead. But there is lead in this pencil. That's good. Well, I guess it's not lead, it's graphite. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying before I realized the travesty that was upon us, is one idea I had. I'm just gonna draw this little like trapezoid shape because it's kind of like rib cage shape. What are ribs except for a cut in half trapezoid? Double trapezoid. I don't know what I'm saying. But so another idea that I was having that I was struggling between deciding is to have the collar more like if this was the bottom of his neck, and this was like the coat, but since we decided on sight shades for his coat to be based off because they have killed the most ghosts, to either do it like this where it kind of more wraps around his shoulders, and I'm gonna stop being detailed with it, or more like this where it wraps around his face. I do not like that. This is so uneven. Oh yeah, do you have any thoughts about that? If you want to more like wrap around his face or like his shoulders, so it's either like a more down look. I kind of think about like feather boas whenever I do this more down look, or this one. What's a good example with the up collar? I don't even know. Either way, made of dramatic feathers because, well, it's sight shades. Honestly, I was thinking about what you just sent for a while, and I have no idea how far along in the stream. Like, if you, because I know in YouTube you can kind of select where in the stream you are. So, are you like still looking at Echo? Because Echo is Masquerade coded. Echo is one of my biggest influences for Echo. For Raenu, I guess it could be. Masquerades are very dramatic, but I'm not even looking about at his face right now. Here's his little face. But yeah, I showed Echo not too long ago. So I'm just gonna, yeah, kind of I'm just gonna wait for you to see if you can answer that. You wanted a more like hugging his shoulders or like hugging, maybe I should draw arms here. Yeah, I think drawing arms here gives a better idea on what it might look like. There you go, you have arms, hooray! So yeah, those are kind of like the base ideas for like a collar thing. Especially since you said dramatic is best. The shoulder feels more in character now that I think about it. Um, yeah, I was kind of like originally his collar didn't really kind of do much. I'll be honest. I will say all of my original character designs for the gods were kind of very boring. Alger might as well have just have been a triangle. Kali and Eve also triangle. Everyone's just a triangle, and I've redesigned all the gods heavily. So I do think the down it might be more Raenu. I guess since you're here, we can go over to our figure and decide on stuff. But yeah. So this is kind of what I'm talking, thinking, looking like. Very kind of more dramatic fur Cody, which I wanted to get that across because before he might as well have just been wearing a kind of colorful trench coat. I want to get the idea that he's wearing a more of a feathered and fur coat across more because that's what he's wearing. And so now that I put it on this better drawn figure, what are your thoughts? It's on the shoulders now. Also, just because, yeah, get some of that Scandinavian fur lining vibe. Yeah, that's definitely something that I wanted to go for, since he technically is raised in an almost Scandinavian-like country. I'm still working on where human ethnicities fall in line on the Phantaticus map, but I've got a pretty good vibe on where they are. So, like, and he also attended a pretty prestigious magic school. So that's another thing that I wanted to get across with him. Now, the next question I have. So we're definitely doing like this full length coat. I am mixing up all of my words right now, which, vibe. So, are we planning on having it kind of like open? Like this? Like open or like closed? This is really boxy. I don't really like it. I definitely like this one better because it's more slim, but so it wouldn't look like that. But like imagine like either this. I did like a sorcerer's dress a while ago on Lady Zinta. I have no idea where the drawing of her is though. But do we want like it's still full touching the floor, being all dramatic, levitating behind him or something. I don't know. God of magic, he can do what he wants. But do we want like an open full length or like a closed full length? Which this is looks slightly more like a dress, slightly less like a dress, but it's still hitting the floor. What are your thoughts on that? Well, you think about that. I'm just gonna go back up here and get the works. No, I think this is totally Rainu coded. I'm not gonna have his floor length coat like touch the floor. Where it's gonna be floor length, but it's gonna like hover above his feet because he doesn't want it to get dirty, and he's the god of magic, so he can play with stuff. I definitely am trying to get that magic man across better. Yeah, parted is best? Okay. Thank you. So now that means I can finish this look up here. I guess another idea is where it's parted. Do you want it parted like normally coats are parted like right here, which just using this example kind of like parted like this. But then I've also seen coats, just gonna erase that, where they're parted but it's like more up here. And that's kind of how that would end up looking. Do you want it like a higher part, like this would be like right under the rib cage parted, or like right at the more hip parted? Higher is fun. Higher is fun. I want to see more coats parted higher, I'll be honest. So yeah, that's how we're looking here now. Now we definitely need something here from here to here because it's kind of just looks weird when it's not. Which normally I would just kind of like maybe do some button stuff here, but I feel like that's not enough for Raenu, and especially since he's wearing a sight shade, they do have this kind of underbelly tuft that we can play with, so kind of like adding to that neck fur, kind of, so it ends up covering where it is sealed like that, and just kind of like, so that is kind of the base idea that I was going for. Any thoughts on that? So I thought it would be fitting since it's made out of sightshade. They have a lot of underbelly fur and feathers, but yeah. Also makes it look way more dramatic. So yeah. Also, how long do you want the sleeves to be? Like, I'm gonna just scooch over here, draw some arms. Um, pretend this is a good looking arm for me. I hate drawing arms, but like for like a sleeve length, like just do you want it like a more like tight sleeve there, or a more loose long? Because I feel like if we go too long, then it ends up looking like a lot of the other gods, as well as the fact that it kind of messes up his shape. I was kind of thinking I'm torn between sleeveless or a parted sleeve. Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can Rainu is definitely the type to have a whole floor length fluffy coat thing, and then it's just sleeveless. I think he definitely would do that though. Also, there is a lot of different types of like parted sleeves. Like maybe instead of going to like the hand, just move it a bit up higher. Little sweet. But no sleeve is fine too. Like if I went up here and do like a sleeveless. Yeah, you think sleeveless is the vibe? Because this is kind of like how sleeveless would look. Kind of reminds me of like a vest. I would be really fancy vest. That's kind of how it would look, cause sleeve. Cause it could always be a sleeveless coat, and then he has different kinds of sleeves underneath the coat, which I don't even know where to start with that, but I like his coat. His coat, dramatic A. That's what he is. So yeah. Do we want him like completely sleeveless, or like have some kind of sleeve here. Like, instead of the coat having sleeves, the coat is sleeveless. But if like the shirt he wears underneath has sleeves, or he's just, I don't know, or he's just no sleeves whatsoever. Whatever you think fits. They are collaborative. Yeah, that is true. They are collaborative creation. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I want to talk about hair for a second. Do you have any other alternative hairstyles for Rainu? Because I don't. I just kind of been drawing his regular kind of hairstyle. Human ear. Wolf cut feels good. Cool. Hold on. I've not drawn a wolf cut in a while. If I even remember correctly, I gotta look it up. So, longer. Kinda longer. I'm seeing some shorter wolf cuts and some longer wolf cuts. So wolf cut definitely feels cool. We love wolf cut. But do you mean like a shorter wolf cut? Because I've seen some wolf cuts where it ends up like being like here, like if I drew like a hair map, it's kind of like you got some hair here, here, and then it's slightly longer than like the ears and stuff. But then I also see wolf cuts that go to like the shoulder and such. So are you talking about like a longer or like a shorter wolf cut? It depends on the day. Yeah. That is fair. So I think designing like a wolf cut thing. I think I will do shorter hair at least for this drawing just because then it's not mingling too much with like fur coat. But I don't know. I definitely get the based on the day idea. But now time to kind of draw a wolf cut. I will say wolf cuts are definitely harder for me to draw. I've been practicing with hair, but it's definitely a lot more fluffy cut with a lot of lines and textures, which has always been harder for me. But that's fine. I want to be able to draw hair that I'm usually not good at. We don't even need to talk about Alger. Alger is such a pain to draw for me. Just so I have more room, I'm drawing another little basic face shape. That isn't even like really Rainu's face shape. It's kind of Rainu's face shape. I don't know. So normally with these wolf coats, I'm seeing like a lot of middle cuts in wolf cuts. I'm like studying reference photos right now. I've got them open up on a little separate screen for me. No, just remove hair out of his face. This wolf cut I'm looking at has hair covering the face, so I kind of just drew it that way. But here, human ear, cover ear. well, wolf cut, go above. I don't know, this wolf cut really looks like a lot of the other wolf cuts, so I'm gonna move to a different reference photo. I don't think it's doing me justice. The underworld is still way more advanced in the textiles. Like, I'm gonna design the Shade Queens soon, and let's just say, the Tremor, Tremor darling, she goes all out on more advanced. So yeah, no worry, Rainu will get to keep his combat boots. No questions asked. I'm so bad at drawing wolf cuts. I'm still trying. This wolf cut I'm looking at has some bang, like, all the way. Curse you for choosing a fluffy hair. Don't you know I'm bad at it? I'm just kidding. You're all fine. I will say I'm having some internet issues right now, which sucks because of course it always happens while I'm in the middle of something. But yeah, I can still read comments for now. I'm just kind of sitting still while things load. Um, so what do we like better? Do we like kind of like his more, well, the traditional cut that I kind of just drew him in randomly in, or this more fluffy wolf cut thing? I'm trying to fix this one. Just, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Rainu does. And I'm having issues with internet now, but it looks like I finally got it working though, so now I get to see your message. Uh, yeah, I could definitely make it more simplistic, but it's simplicity. It being complex is not the problem. It's the fact that it's short hair is the problem. I'm not that good at drawing short hair. Algar is a pain for me. And so is Polaris. And Karma isn't, because I don't know. Well, Karma is sometimes. Karma's weird. Yeah, where isn't a good example of me suffering with short hair, because I've definitely done it a few times. Um, not suffering with short hair, because he does not have short hair, not suffering. Eve was kind of a pain, suffering, because shorter hair, but I kind of figured it out. But like, if you see in these sketches here, this is me struggling because of its being short hair. Valkyrie has longer hair, so she's fine. Longer hair, so it's fine. Polaris, also a pain. Look at this. Look at this hair that looks nothing like my other better hair drawings. Because it's short hair that I hate and I struggle with immensely. And here's Alger. Hair that I also... Which is way more simple than what I tried to do with the wolf cut. Well, as a wolf cut, there is so much going on with a wolf cut that I could definitely try to simple down, but it's still a short hair, so it's still a struggle. Unironically be the ink/octolings. I have not looked at them for like a hot minute, so I'm gonna have to look them up right now. Do the Inklings have a wolf cut? I'm gonna have to look up Inklings wolf cut right now. I mean, I'm getting results. Yeah, okay. Saw some results. Unironically, Inkling and Octoling. Yeah, I see it now. Now that I've looked it up for 2 seconds. So I'm gonna work with that here for a second. Running out of space because I like to keep this space available for other things, which I probably am not doing. But okay. Basic shape, basic face shape. Switching over my tab again. And so I'm kind of seeing. I'm seeing 2 versions, the one with bangs in the front and the ones with not, and I feel like it's a very different haircut, whether it has bangs or not. Are we pro-banged Raenu in this house? Are we anti-Raenu bangs this house? Doesn't matter. Draw on ears. I will draw the without bangs first, cause I don't know. Bangs, am I right? I'm just kidding. I have nothing against bangs. Rainu Autism would rip those bangs out in second. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Can't handle. Honestly, I used to have bangs for like a long time. I don't anymore. But yeah. So in my Inkling Octoling wolf cut study, this is kind of what I'm seeing. And then usually some more, and then flare out, like, draw neck. Gotta draw some neck here. Okay, I'm definitely liking this more than before. It's less of a struggle. Still a struggle. Yeah. There. What do we think about wolf cut right now? It's kind of hard to see, so I'm just gonna quickly purple it. Because this is why I have markers. And so I could rant for ages without thinking about what I have to draw next. There. Thoughts? Also, the colors on camera are always so wrong. Like, this is not this color. It is way more pink on my side. This looks amazing. Okay. Do we like it more than the traditional Raenu hair, which is like these three? Do we like wolf cut Raenu more? Bangless wolf cut? I will say, what I've learned in the past few seconds is that wolf cuts are very, very varied. Very different. I don't know what yep is for. You like this? Okay. Simple yes or no question. Do we like wolf cut Rainu more than traditional style hair Rainu? It's still short hair, so either way I suffer. We like wolf cut more. Alright. It means I can move over and... Why do I keep moving this down? You do not need to see my table. I can draw like this just fine. I draw like this normally. I don't know why I keep just dragging it off the table. It's like keeping book on the table. No, no, no. Not for me. Okay. Draw this little dinky hound up front. This is kind of like a bang. Unironically, never mind. I don't know what I was gonna say. It's gone. There, look at Rainu looking like a different person now. There we go. Which, that's okay. A lot of the gods look like different people now. Like Alger. I kind of don't care too much about faces. Hey, that's what yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Also, just for the sake of everyone, no one should ever talk about those who were there before pre-redesign Echo. We should not talk about pre-redesign Echo. Yeah. Because the features are so small, because, I don't know, because I'm drawing very small. I usually don't worry about them too much. I just kind of draw them so they're there. Do we have any other Rainu ideas? I think one idea that I do have, and I'm glad that you're here so I can bring this up. I'm just gonna scoot the book over to the side. I didn't need to. I've got plenty of room on camera. I don't know. I just keep forgetting to check is with his lantern. One idea that I had is like, so I'm drawing his little lantern shape here. So one idea I had that either from, I think I'm gonna do it Raleen for like this bottom part to have like these paper tags. Cause I know like for like a lot of ghosts, and maybe this is because I've been watching my favorite anime recently, which is a ghost paranormal one. Like almost having those little tags for with like, I don't know, magic symbol stuff. I'll draw like some lines here. Like the ghost ceiling tags almost. But not necessarily. there are many different types of magic languages and tags. And I think this especially works because he's kind of like sorcerer wizard-esque. And yeah, what are your thoughts about little tag things? I've kind of been adding a lot of extra details to the gods' weapons and stuff, and this is an idea that I had for giving Raenu something a little more. It's a ghost lantern. That's what I'm saying! Slapping spell scrolls on a lamp sounds cool. And I. Yeah, I'm glad that you agree. Also, I think it's probably because I've been working on my webcomic with Dot, is because Dot has magical crystals they use that they kind of rip off their staff that they have. And I just think that's so cool to rip off like a little paper thing you have attached to like a staff, or in Rainu's case is a lamp, and then just throw it and cast a spell with it. I always thought that was so cool. But yeah, little spell scrolls. Now we're gonna have to. I'll work on this with you in private to decide the 4 spells he has with him at all times. But yeah. Anyway, now we're definitely on to what you've been waiting for. Let's see if I can remember how to draw combat boots. The answer is I don't. I never do. I need to look up a reference photo. So, there we go. Yeah. I always do like keeping the dead more modern, just because they have resources that the mortal doesn't. I mean, their styles are by no means modern, but they're more modern. And I'm not even gonna worry about laces. I just kind of get the vague idea of them, and then when I work on like the official sketches and stuff, we'll actually worry about what laces look like. Yeah, exactly. I will say, hmm, what do we want to do for like Rainu's like? I will say, in the original Rainu design, I just pretty much slapped on purple leggings because I hate thinking about pants in any capacity. However, I have no idea how I want to think about what pants. Maybe he just wears a skirt. I don't know. He would. Hmm. Just looking at my old reference. Yeah, we got not wearing pants, wearing skirt. We got wearing leggings, but that we got not wearing pants, dress. Okay, she's wearing pants, thick sweatpants. So fancy, and then just wearing sweatpants underneath. That's funny. I can do that though. Maybe. We'll see. You'll give me a second and I'll figure it out. He's a modern diva. There, I think I kind of figured it out. You gotta stay comfy when you're slaying this hard. Uncomfy? Yeah. Is there anything you feel like we need to discuss and change with Raenu redesign? Or you think we're good? But yeah, I do agree with what you're saying on liking the sleevelessness. Because it gives a chance to see all the other texturing that's going on. Because there is a lot of textures going on over here. Like, look, I'll help out. Look at this diva. Where's my marker? Oh, there's my marker. I found it. Because I'm not taking the time to color these, I usually just like to throw in some color just to add like pops, which also helps texture and make the designs easier. I think we're good on sketch and close face, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to talk to you more about colors, because I've decided that for this series, because I don't want to be streaming for 4 hours, and I'm not even worrying about colors. don't worry about colors at all ever, and nothing can hurt you. So yeah, that's why Rainu's just being in this pink and purple. 'Cause I don't know, he seems like a magenta guy to me, and Nure already took purple. Purple is his, it has been his. And I finally solved the War of Blue. The War of Blue has officially ended. I now know which gods get blue and which ones are just gonna have to settle. But yeah. No. So I definitely do think, like, normally during, like, where I'm color them up a bit just so the final piece looks more interesting, and so when I'm actually drawing the official, like, art for them, which I'm not live streaming, you're never gonna see me draw official art on live. I am too pretentious about it, and it takes forever. So, and that's also another reason why I leave colors are just for when I'm working on official arts and thumbnail sketches. But I do like coloring details just so it's easier for me later to tell it apart. But yeah. And I don't know how much you want to keep of Rainu's lore or how much you want to change, which is why I'm kind of not talking about Rainu's lore while coloring like I normally do. Because we can discuss that later. But I'm still going to color things. Just color them in the same purplish pink color. I think we're good, yeah. I already read that. But yeah, but now I don't know what to talk about. I just think I don't know. It has been fun live streaming with the gods, even though it's very clear that I don't know what I'm doing ever. But it's been fun nonetheless. Well, I missed that paper completely. same reason why pen just help make it look more clear. Yeah, honestly, if you go back and look at I get that a lot. Because if you go back and look at my previous stream, like that's the reason why Eve and Kali are the only ones that share the page. Because they're so intertied. I'd have to go, like, it would be so hard to be able to these two effectively. So I just ended up giving them the same page and talking about them in the same two streams. Like, I skipped over a huge chunk of Echo's life and culture too, because I did not want to go into like all the underworld shade lore either. And since everything's kind of working, I really only talk about the things that I know is gonna stay pretty canon by the end. Like I did talk about like the characters who can be more separate from each other and separate are just like kind of their own separate thing. Like I talked about Alias a bit. I did have to bring up Polaris a few times for Alias, but I just kind of focused on everything that really didn't involve his life as a god, besides the fact that I brought up that. Because a lot of this section is more talking about their life before being a god, usually. Which that another reason why I had to skip over Echo. So a lot of Echo's childhood as a shade and culture, and had to combine Eve and Kali because, well, yeah, they tied to each other. It really is kind of hard to separate, which I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to not be able to separate gods from their lore. I mean, lore stream is a fair idea. Yeah, I could do that. I prefer lore videos though, just because it's scripted. I can take more time to think about what I'm saying to actually come up with ideas. I usually like to talk a little bit about lore because these are kind of lore stream. Like I did mention earlier how Raenu ends up getting married to like the god of winter and such. And I talked a little bit about how Phantaticus came to be in its creation when I talked about the Wishmaker. I talked a bit about the angel culture as well with Alger. I did gloss over a lot with Alger too, now that I'm thinking about it. Because yeah. The angel culture in itself, that is another long topic. Because there's a lot going on there. And a lot of it doesn't even involve Algers, so yeah. I do like doing character designing streams though. It is kind of fun. But yeah, I guess for Rainu, I can talk about the stuff that I know is still canon. Like the fact that he grew up in the Albander region of the world, which is guarded by a harsh and fierce ice dragon. And the history of the kingdom goes that well, they were humans, they wanted to build this kingdom where no one's gone before. They saw it as an opportunity to have less threats or enemies. Well, yeah, they'd have to deal with the cold, but far better than having to deal with all the war happening in other places of the world. But since there is a great dragon that lives in the area, that was a big threat, but they ended up making a deal with her that no harm shall come either way. As well as originally it was just kind of a truce. The dragon will not be hurt, nor will their children or family, and then the humans wouldn't be hurt, but then it switched to a beneficial relationship on both parts. The humans would sacrifice a bit of their foods or riches to the dragon ever so long, and the dragon will protect them from other winter threats, such as, well, other dragons, among other things. And that went along for a very, very long time. In fact, there was still kind of going on. There were definitely some separations and some distances. Fight was inevitable. It was brewing when Raenu was born, and then he ends up being seen very talented. Yeah. The getting protected by a dragon really did go all to their head. And especially because it kinda is lost history to them. It really wasn't talked about how the whole reason why this kingdom still exists and is in the condition is it is as it is because of a dragon really stopped being talked about to give more human credit when I did not talk to you. I don't think I mentioned this to you. I meant to, but I can't remember if I did or didn't. But one big thing with Alabanda is the fact that I know I've mentioned that she's got a scar covering her eye, and that was inflicted by another dragon, and she got that while trying to protect this little winter kingdom that she had made this deal of protection with for food, of course. Food, of course. And so yeah, the kingdom was doing real well. It's kind of hard not to do well when you've got a great dragon protecting you, especially because so far in design there are like six great dragon, not six. I said the wrong number. No, no, yes. No, there are six. I did say the right number. I thought I forgot one. There is the dragon of the in between, or underneath, whatever you want to call it. So there's the one dragon in the underworld where like all the ghosts are, which now that I'm thinking about it is much more like a purgatory than it is like a heaven or hell. That's kind of what the in between is. It's kind of like a nowhere nothing state place. Everyone goes there no matter how good or bad you've been. And yeah, it's kind of up to Raenu if it feels like a purgatory. Hey, I was just trying to count in my head real quickly. I knew how many dragons there were, because there's the one for the dead, the one in heaven, the one in hell, being Leviathan, and then there's the three dragons of the overworlds. I will admit, because the one in heaven is so underdeveloped, because we got Tiamat for the in-between, and we've got Leviathan for the underworld. And the other heaven dragon doesn't even have a name, which is why I kept overcorrecting that. correcting for them because I keep thinking that I'm gonna forget about them, and then I don't. So I just keep overcorrecting for their existence. But it could be seven. I've thought about this before about putting a dragon for like the actual in between wishes domain, having there be a dragon that's native to there, just because there's a dragon for every realm except for that one. So I have thought about that before, but I have no idea if I want to do that or not. That is barely an idea, because I don't even know how I would want to go about that. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just gonna read aloud this comment so people know what I'm talking about. Oh no, that was in reference to how Reno's culture didn't really write anything down, and that's what ended up killing him. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely hurt Raenu a lot because I mean, especially when it came to redesigning, that's why I really wanted you to be able to attend the stream, is because I didn't even know where to start with Rainu's culture, because a lot of these other characters have such a developed culture. I think Wish really doesn't. Wish is just a girl. She's girl's girl, and it doesn't really matter. But like Alias had such a strict culture. Like I knew how I wanted to draw him, what style, what the idea, what he was gonna be humanly based off and referencing. I knew what I was gonna do with. I knew what I was gonna do with New Ray. New Ray in terms of culture and style and how that affects how he dresses now. Sam goes for like Eve, not really for Kali. I didn't really do that with Kali because Kali is always kind of other, but I did know what I was doing with Eve. Valkyrie is another example. I really knew what influences I wanted to pull from. Same with Yumiko and Polaris. I changed up Polaris a lot, and that mainly came from actually developing his culture before the stream happened. Um, Alligator is another example of that. Karma, she hasn't changed at all. Karma is pretty much the same as when I drew her the very first time. She's just chilling. Kaleo did have some changes, but that's a separate thing entirely. And, you know, Echo is a mess of cultural influences, which is how they're meant to be. But yeah, I will say, I don't write a lot of things down. I've got a pretty good memory when it comes to my characters and what I'm doing and stuff. But sometimes I do regret not writing things down. Especially names. I try to make sure to write down all names down, because if I don't write down a name 50 billion times, I will not remember it ever. Names are hard. Yeah, but yeah. Oh wait, I forgot to line. I'll give this spot a little bit more love, a little bit more attention, just because it looks wrong without it. But yeah. So I also think another thing that hurts Rainu, besides you not writing down culture, or me not writing down culture, no one writing down any culture, is because when I made all these gods, a lot of the culture and ideas were they were not set in stone. That's why a lot of my gods have been so heavily redesigned is because now they finally have, like, more idea of a culture and where they come from and how I want them to dress because of the influences of their past. But yeah, it has been 2 hours. I usually like these streams come with 2 hours. I think we did a lot of good. I should have zoomed out while coloring, but yeah, I didn't. I'll zoom out now. And yeah, that is Raenu, god of magic, god of dead, god of being chill, among everybody else. And yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be ending stream now just because it's been 2 hours and I normally like to end it after 2 hours. But yeah, we definitely should talk about developing his culture a bit more and what we want that to look like. As well as I need to talk to you about something else, because you know how all the gods have their own little spaces? And the little god domain right there? I've got names for each of the islands, including Rainu's, and I don't know. I like to talk to you about all of the Raenu stuff, but yeah, that was stream. Thank you for being able to show up. And yeah, that is all the gods. I have no idea when I'm going to stream next. It's probably not going to be for a while. And yeah, I think I'll probably focus more on videos and my webcomic going forward. But I might. I still have a lot of pages in this book that are blank. But yeah, that is. Yeah. See ya. Welcome to Phantaticus 13, and I am probably gonna do homework. I don't know. Bye.